At the Loughborough International with Scotland captain Kelsey Stewart. Kelsey, just tell me, how did you feel when Mark Pollard asked you to captain Scotland today?
It took me by complete surprise. I got a phone call with Mark while I was out for dinner with my parents, and it was just the biggest surprise but the biggest honour. And then had the panic of trying to come up with a team speech with a very short period of time, and I wanted to do something that could inspire the team today, you know, appreciate the lows and highs of the sport, and also just create a real team atmosphere and a real good culture within the team, because I think that brings on everyone. So
well, I think I could safely say, having been in the team meeting, you set the bar pretty high with that speech, because I've heard some other ones in the past, but you did refer a lot to the highs and lows in sport. I think that's important, that, you know, maybe some of the younger ones who are, you know, going well at the moment, it's not always like that, is it?
Absolutely. Like the beauty of the sport is that one week it can be fantastic, the next week you wonder where the poor performance came from, and it's all about learning to bounce back. When you're a youngster, I think sometimes you can be put on this pedestal and nobody prepares you for it to go wrong, and I think that's really important to develop that skill set, because it's so important when you get older, seniors, getting the knockbacks as well as those fantastic performances, and I think that's what makes a great runner into an absolutely great runner. So yeah.
Well, I won't name names, but I think you were a little harsh on a couple of your pals calling them dinosaurs. However, having yourself there, Nick Percy there, Zoe Clark there, I think it probably is useful for, I think, a dozen people on their first senior experience. Have you found that there's been a good interaction in the group? Absolutely,
everyone's chatting away to each other, and I've tried to really do that as captain. I think that's my job this weekend, make sure everyone's talking to each other, cheering each other on, just creating that culture and atmosphere, like I've said. So I think, you know, I think we have done really well as a team to do that. Everyone's chatting away inside, and it feels like we are one, and that's what I wanted to get out of the weekend for the team.
And you have been around a number of years, and you probably coincided with what is a really exciting time for the sport in Scotland, because although we're talking about ups and downs and so on, there's a lot of promise there in Scottish athletics, isn't there?
Absolutely, and I think it's only getting better. I think the youngsters are seeing the older ones doing so well and realising they can do it, seeing those who've come through the Scottish grassroots system, like your Gemmas, your Zoes, etc. They've all come in from being a youngster in a club environment, and I think those youngsters within the clubs are now realising, wait, they are normal people, they've gone through the same steps as me, and if I keep going, I can do that. And I think greatness brings greatness, and the more athletes we can have at that top level, the more youngsters are going to want to get there and idolise that. So I think it's really positive for the sport, and really positive going forward as well as a country.
Megan Keith last night, you know,
oh my goodness, I know,
from North League cross country,
yeah.
She's a great example of how the pathway does work if the athletes, you know, got the talent and the hard work.
Absolutely, Megan is amazing. What she's done the last couple of years, it just shows by trusting in your team, your coach, the environment around you, being surrounded by the right people, you can reach those heights, and Megan's a prime example of that, and a lovely girl to go with it, and I think she should be a real role model for a lot of the youngsters in this team today.
Thanks, Kelsey.
No worries at all.